I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is August 23rd, Friday, 2024. Hope you had a good day and a good week here. So, no trading for me. I was literally sneezing all night, didn't sleep, and then you know how when you get sick, you get the throat first, then your chest, and then the sneezing, and then the congestion lasts for like a week. That's where I'm at. So I couldn't even focus, man. I can barely keep my eyes open. You're probably like, why are you making this video, dude? Just relax. And I'm like, I don't know. It was a big day, and it was a cool day, and whatever. I'll just go over it. So keep this, try to make this simple. We ended up, in the same damn spot. We pretty much peakered out, shaked out. We opened up, and when we opened up with that gap, right? Obviously inside our current week gap, right? Then we pushed up, and we basically, pushed up to wipe out sellers here. And then let me go into it on this side here. It'll make more sense. So you take a look here. This is 9:30 open, right? We pushed down first. All right, we're sitting inside that gap here. This weekly gap. That I'm hovering. If you should have it on your chart, but if you're wondering where it's from, it's right there. Right, it's the same one from August 1st that we looked at. It's not from August 1st. It's from July 21st. But we've been dancing around that, right? Plus that break of the August 1st high, right? So we're pretty much in the damn same spot. So to me, this tells me that the bulls ain't over yet. But I would expect a displacement below here, which we got a nice pullback down, like up here. Sorry, I'm all over the place. This push down, but in reality, man, it's just has all right to stop here as a buy, right? So there is support here if you take a look at the previous price action, obviously here, right? I was mentioning this 31st July, this Wednesday up candle that I'm hovering over. Like I was like, is that going to be used as support? And so far we haven't broke below, right? So let me get back to this. So on the 1 hour chart, you can see we have imbalance there, we have an imbalance there, and then we have that imbalance there, which people slept on this probably too, but I'll drag it out now. It's very key to see this. So you notice we end up like bodies end up staying in this. Now you're probably like, oh, it's after the fact, and I can see what's going on. But let me tell you something. You could see this and still not know what's going on. You could have missed it. I'll do a review, and then afterwards I'll maybe notice something. But it's always good to go over it. But as you see here, look at the bodies of the 1 hour. Look at that right there. So this is very key. But let me go back into it. So I know there's a lot going on, but we open up and checked it out. So if you were trying to sell this first, right, you can see here, if you're trying to sell this first and you push up with this imbalance, this green one, this is clean, right? It's nothing hard to see here, right? So you see that imbalance right there. You see it if you're trying to sell this, right, and it's pushing up constantly and you keep failing here. Look at these, as it's rising. By then you should notice, okay, this is an inversion imbalance. Number one. Number two, what's it called? Look at the bodies here on the 15 minute. The 15 minute is not perfect or anything, but we're trying to pretty much look at like staying above the 50% of this gap, this gray one that we're in. Look at this shooting up now, fucking losers. So when you see this, and we've 9:30 came down, and did they take liquidity? Yeah, they took this nice pool right there. See, I don't have to draw it, but I guess I'll draw it. This pool from right here to here. So it's like, we sweep that, right? So when we sweep that, plus sitting in this down candle, this 5 o'clock, 5 in the morning, 15-minute candle. I'll just drag that out. I know this looks horrible. Just bear with me here, and you'll see, like, we sweep it. We sweep that liquidity here. You're probably like, bruh. Huh. Um, let me just do that. All right. So, whoa. So you sweep that, right, and then you sweep that liquidity, boom, and then you hit this little support right there. If you take a look on the 15-minute, you can see it. It's pretty sloppy when it's pretty thick, but let me delete that. Maybe you can see it here better. Now, if you take a look at it clearly, you'll see that. Well, it's good enough. See how we dip in? See how we dip in this imbalance right there? Zoom in for you right there. Very minute. Drag it all the way out. Look at that. Look at that precision. So, and if I put back that line that I just had it, that was hovering above that candle, which is that 5 a.m. 15-minute candle. So that would be a perfect zone. So we swept liquidity when you're when at this moment when you're buying, right? You get that dip into the imbalance plus a down candle plus liquidity. That's a perfect trifecta, right? For us to keep going up. Now that I've took forever to explain that, let me continue, and then you'll see that this inversion imbalance gets used right here, which is going to be obviously this 931. So the 931 candle, and then also if you're looking, we're at the top 25% of the opening gap right here. And then when you get the order flow, very simply, man, you just gotta roll with it, man. I mean, then look at very common that this 939 candle. I'm sorry, 959 candle. See this 959? Here's the 10 o'clock that shoots up, right? But very, very common when it's about to shoot up, you'll see the 959 candle literally dip down real quick to wipe out like somebody and then kind of start going up. And that candle from there will just take off, right? And that's exactly what they did. So beautiful. So shoots up right here all the way. And then when it shoots up, we have outlined on the, if you take a look on this 1 hour, you'll see that we have this gap right here, right? So we have this imbalance right here. And then above, what's above here? Well, we have this wick. See this wick right here? It's completely by itself, not mitigated at all. And then what's inside the wick? We're in that gap right here. So yes, there's an imbalance right there too. But and this makes me think that this is another reason why we're going to keep coming up, technically. But that's another story. So let's see. So, and if you take a look here, if you do a measurement here, I'll make this very simple. Actually, I could just do it. Can I do it here? I'll just do it here. Take a look. So coming to that 70 was pretty much what I was mentioning yesterday to someone. Take a look here. Let me just drag that out for you. So as you can see here, the price retraces back up, and then we're using that 70 nicely. We're using that 70 nicely. Look at that. Look at the bodies right here. Look at the bodies sitting there right at the 70. I mean, man, you can't make that shit up, bro. And then knocking on that gap that we're talking about from right here above there. So we get to there, and we're doing three drives here. So we push up, one, retrace. We trace back into this imbalance right here, which is obviously the 10 o'clock candle, the 1 minute, right? We push up, we retrace back. Now you're using this as to show where's the strength. So shoot, you get another higher high and then another higher low. Comes right back down, right back. Okay. Then it pushes up again for another high. Now you got three drives here. You got the three drives plus you have your divergences here, right? You can see them happening very clear. But when you get a pull up and a retrace back and it's deep like that, that's generally a sign of saying, okay, well, this is a high resistance run, meaning it's going to come back down. And the liquidity is now a little too easy and perfect, right? Like, because to get into this was easy, period. But then you get the higher lows, and then boom, and you start to get this push down. And you can start to see the bearish tool start working. So this imbalance right here, this 1023. This 1023 candle, if you drag that out, you can see once we go below it and we close, and then we retrace back in it. Look at the bodies respecting 50%. And then if you were, let me just drag this out just a little bit. And then even if you put a bearish imbalance here, you'll see that it's coming in there nicely. I mean, man, what's great about these type of days is that the movement is fast, but it's slow at the same time, right? The price action's clean, but it's dirty at the same time. I know that sounds funny, but like it's pretty clear, like what they're doing in a way, and the movement's great and all that, but the overall price action is sloppy, right? So as you see, but anyway, so when we're pushing up, the green is, they could have been blue. I just started it with green for some reason. But when you see that that these bearish tools start to break down, let me delete this one. This one's not important. So when you push down, you push back up. Now you're using them as resistance, right? So if I drag this out here, you'll see it's holding as resistance. And then remember this 1 hour imbalance that's sitting in the background, right? That's a bearish imbalance. What we do is we go below it, right? We go below it. And then I have another, look at this. There's 1001 candle. So I got this dragged out too. And I'm gauging, and you can catch trades from seeing what the price action is doing algorithmically. And if you see here, we come underneath the 1 hour, which is in the pink, the big one. We come underneath it, and then we come back up and we smack 50% of the bottom. So that's now it's with support, now I use resistance, right? So all right, price comes down, comes back up, right? But now if I drag this one out, look at that. If I drag that out, now you can see that to the tick, damn near, right? Now you see that we're using now this 1001 imbalance dragged out. You can see that we're using that as resistance. Boom, what do? They shoot straight down, wipe all that liquidity out. And on a day like this, you can expect that. And then sure enough, shoots all the way down. Let me kind of zoom out a little bit. So once that comes down, right? Remember, we come down here and we hit the 25% here, the last 25% of the opening range, right? Because it's obviously pretty big. Now, obviously, we want to see these deeper trades, but if we were going to keep going up, you'd want to see it keep going up, right? But you're not getting that, right? So price shoots down 25%, retraces back to the 50% of the opening range, plus well, I won't get into that 1 hour this yet, but I'll leave that there just so you can see it. But so we're underneath that as well, and we come right back down. Now we come to the opening gap of today, the weekly open of today, and we slightly missed the opening gap of today, right? What do? Well, they're making a couple legs down. So it's a pump, then dump, right? That's pretty much what it's doing. Then it comes down, and then we retrace back up. We come back up, right? And then we retrace back, and then now we're at the midnight open. Look how we tagged that midnight open pretty well as well. It's in the background here in this orange. I should probably change this color too. I made this orange and that orange. You're probably confused, but that's why I made it thicker. So anyways, we come back in. There's an imbalance sitting right here, and we use the midnight as a support, and then we take off. When we take off, we're going back up to make a lower high, right? If you're bearish, right? In general speaking, the flow, you're coming back up to take out sellers. If you take a look at this 10 o'clock candle, if I drag the big green one out, you'll see that we come up and then we stop in its tracks, right? And if I was to, if I not refined it, but look at this, you'll see this imbalance right there that it's sitting in. And look how we come up into that, right? So this is just like a basic resistance, right? But you can see that 1001 candle was holding that price. So then what do? You get that curve up, right? So over here, when at this spot right here, this was oversold. I'm sorry, and then pushing up here. Now we're tagging that overbought right here. And if anybody says that this doesn't work, you don't need it, I mean, you're tripping. It's like free game. Why not? I think it's very useful. We come down, we start making drives down, right? And you can see all the imbalances already highlighted there. If you missed that, right? And then right here we get a nice little speaker right there, and then we're starting to widen out, and then they flirt with the bottom low. They don't take it out, and then they rush for it. See that? So that's a setup all in itself. Generally, when you get to a low and they don't take it out. So then what does it do? Rushes, and then boom, comes down. Look at the 15-minute bodies right there. Look at the bodies sitting there closing and then opening right on the opening gap right there. The wicks, forget the wicks. They do come below a little bit, but and they're still sitting there, right on the opening of the week. And then sure enough, that liquidity gets taken, and then again on an oversold area, and then takes off. Where does it take off? Obviously, it's coming up to wipe out the liquidity to the left side of the chart, right? Because we've been selling. So right now, are the Bears winning or not? It's pretty much, to me, it's pretty much still bullish. If I was to do a nice retracement here, let's take a look at that. You'll see that we come shy of the 70, right? Not by much, but we're sitting there, and oh man, why doesn't this thing delete like it used to? Wow, I'm tired, man. 16 minutes. So, and then we do finally clear that opening range here, and then we retrace back up. So let me get rid of this. Now the divergence work here was pretty nice. As you can see, the reason why the majority of this day, look at this, coming right back up. So you had a divergence here on Dow on the higher time frame, right? So that was framing pretty much the sell from up top, but the pushing up, right? The buying up was a given. The pushing up was a given because of the liquidity to the left, if in general speaking, and to fake out the market, so to build liquidity and to come back down. When it's building like this, I think the bears are sort of in control as well. Generally speaking, it would have just shot up and we would have took the previous day highs and we would have kind of been more on the bullish side. But I think they're with them giving out rate cuts next month, hints that might do a couple things, because generally speaking, when they announce that kind of hint, we will generally be buying for the first couple days and then we can sell off, or we could buy for more of a long time than that. And then, for me, I think we're going to make a higher leg still, but we'll see. But anyways, this higher high, and then inside this higher high, we had a divergence going on. Well, if you look at the top part of the range, you had a higher high with NAS, and then you had lower highs here. That little spot right there, right? But then when we broke down, when we came down here, we took out lows, but Dow did not. So it pushed that price back up, right? But we were already down here. And then when we pushed up for NAS and we were at that 70, right? Well, no, I'm sorry. You were at the 70 here. This was also close to a 70. But when you came back up to make a lower high and wipe out the liquidity to the left side, we had now higher highs with Dow again. So then we come and get pushed down because of that. So pretty clean. If you're watching that at the same time, that would have been awesome. It would have been pretty helpful. Dollar also decided to come lower. And this is, now we finally took out that low. Look at that. So I was mentioning that yesterday, and I can't even fit all this on the chart no more. So as we're coming down, this is the reason why I was like saying that bulls weren't out the cards, because Yes, we were getting some reactions here, but when the news came out and it shot dollar down like this, to me, this was telling me that either we're trying to get on the extended side of dollar, or we're just still coming down, and we're and I'm sorry, dollar's still coming down, and and the what do you call it, the and indices were coming up, right? So it wasn't that helpful. And if I take a look at bonds, they were, you know, kind of fronting a little bit, but they're still pointing up, and yields are still pointing down. So that being the case, oh, look at Dow. I mean, you know, they're not done with the top side. That's what I keep saying. Like we're too high up here to be like talking about being bearish. Like it's just not ready yet. Like I know we don't deserve to be here. I know the value shouldn't be here, but at the same time, like they're just taking advantage, right? Let's take a look here. Yeah, we're kind of exhausting and peaking, but I'm really surprised we didn't push up higher today. I really am. After all that, but that still looks bullish. So let me see here. Where else are we? But yeah, other than that, I feel like I'm missing something here, man. I know I've dragged this out, and then Nvidia. So Nvidia is still up there too. I mean, it's like, again, I just don't see that we're done with this top side. I just don't see it. I don't see that we're done. So other than that, I think you guys, I should be done, man. I think I've beat this with a dead horse. Oh, and then when I was mentioning that this gap right here, this is also showing. So we're locked in between. We're locked in between this bearish imbalance and this bullish imbalance right here. So we're literally in the middle. And this is the main reason why I didn't really want to trade today. Besides, I couldn't even function. But I had a strong feeling that we would look like this. Just a shakeout day. We're in the same spot, but you would think that's a displacement. I mean, it's, you know, again, back to neutral, man. Back to neutral bullish. I don't really have a reason for me to say that, hey, it should come down now. Like, I don't have that. So the week's closing like that doesn't look as strong, but excuse me. I think I went over everything. You can take a look here, and there's nothing else I should mention. I feel like I'm missing something. No, god damn. Anyways, but paying attention to the bodies is really what's super key. And we didn't take out that low. I'm surprised they didn't take out that low either. These lows coupled with that, I'm surprised they did not. But look at the bodies. This is a 4 hour, right? This is a 4 hour. So look at the bodies here. You know, look at the bodies there. Look at the bodies. It's still bullish. So, all right, you guys take care. Have a good weekend. God bless.